Okay, right. So, right, purposive communication. Again, basically communication with a purpose. Why is this important? Of course, in every communication setting or every on every daily setting in your lives, you always have to communicate with people. And of course, there's always a purpose to that. It's either you build connections or you basically solve conflicts. Now, you build new relationships or solve conflicts, avoid conflicts. Every time you do communication, it's always with a purpose. Okay, basic, but yeah, literal, but that's the meaning. Okay, and this is very important because you will everyone is in first year or no, second year, what, I believe first years. You are first years, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Freshies
Yes,
o
ma'am.
fresh pa? Okay, fresh pa ang mga attention nila, pabibo pa yan, nakikinig pa. Okay, so freshies. Okay, so it's important. Why is it in your first year subjects? It's because ngayon pa lang, it's important that you already know what's the purpose of everything that you do, be it in a paper, no, research paper, essays, what else? Of course, the report. No, when you're presenting, there should always be a purpose or objective. Important yan, especially in when writing research paper. Okay, yan yung number one na tatanungin. What's the purpose of your research? And before, of course, before going there, you will have to write a lot of essays. No, dapat may purpose yung essays ninyo. You will, what else? What do you call that one? I had it on the tip of my tongue and then I forgot. Yeah, you have essays, papers. Yeah, hindi, it doesn't have to be research paper. You will have to do some papers. What is your course? Mostly, anong course ninyo?
Hospitality management, ma'am. Major in culinary and food service management.
Oh, nice. Hospitality. Okay, so this is very applicable to you guys because you have to establish connection to your guests, no? Very forward kayo, frontliners. So you always have to do communication. Wala kayo sa back office, no? So you have to know the essence of what you're communicating and how will you communicate effectively, which again we will discuss later on. How to communicate effectively. That's second. First, what's the purpose? And second, how will you communicate it effectively? I was also, or maybe I am still, I was also in the hospitality. I used to work in the cruise ships. So I know a lot about this hospitality environment. So, yeah. Culinary, let's say you would still have to communicate. Okay, let's say kahit nasa kitchen kayo, but then of course you will have to communicate. For example, when you are looking for the job, for the perfect job and perfect employer, restaurant, hotel, wherever you want to work as a chef or whatever position, basically. No? Okay, so my presentation or our discussion today will have three parts. Of course, we will have to discuss the principles, elements of communication, and ethics. Okay, right. So, what is communication? Let's define first what is communication. In the screen, you can read its meaning making. All right. So, again, please, whatever you hear that you think it's an important details, please write it down. Okay? I how many of you are holding your pens? Please raise your pens. I want to check it. Okay, may mga pens lahat. Okay. All right. So the pen is not meant to be on the table. It should be on your hand, just like this. I'm not writing, but it's in my hand. I don't know why. Okay, so Right, meaning making. Let's go first with the meaning making. Of course, it's always when we receive or we hear something, we always have to interpret that. You know, it's always the meaning we make out of it, or we also should make it and then we extend it. Later on, mas malinaw because we will have the elements of communication. So it's a meaning making. I think it's self-explanatory. I'm just going over and over again, but I think it's already clear, no? Exchange of information, very self-explanatory. Of course, we exchange information. Sharing of ideas as well. This is the basic meaning of communication. I will not go and grab some, what do you call this one, some famous philosophers or I don't know, like these people who define or who gives definition of communication in a very complex way. This is just I simplified it already, no? Because you have to always know the essence and not know the people who said what, okay? You don't have to memorize these people already, like Aristotle or whoever, and how they give the scientific definition of communication. Okay? No need for that because, again, you have to know the very essence of communication, which is these three. And of course, there are some more. All right. So this one is important. Latin word communicare. It came from the Latin word communicare, but that is not all. There are some other root word of communication, but I only pick communicare because in the College of Arts and Sciences, we are or the second years and third years are doing this event. So if you see that there is this communicare event happening, you know, oh, because it's a communication event. It's from the College of Arts and Sciences Communication Department. Yeah, and they coined the word communicare in that event, and it's really nice. So communicare, which means to share. Okay, to share. Communicare. It's important. All right. Any questions so far? Very simple and easy, right? I already simplified it for you guys. You don't have to read complex books and paragraphs. Okay, so again, just to add, no, please write it down. Communication is all around us. It is a system, no? It is basically a system which goes over and over again. As I've said, you make meaning, and then when you got the meaning, you interpret it. There's meaning making. You share ideas. You exchange information. That's why it's going over and over again. It's a system. Okay. Now let's go to the elements of communication. Am I too fast or everything is clear so far? Everything is clear so far? Yeah. Okay. So
Yes,
let's.
ma'am.
Yeah, I hope so. That was kind of simple, no? So elements of communication. You have to write now. Elements. Okay. So what are we practicing here? It's the listening, okay? Your listening skills. You have to listen carefully. Do not rely on the PowerPoint. Okay? So elements of communication, we will first go and define the sender. Okay? I'm sure this is just a review. No? Is this a review for all of you? Have you studied this before or no? No? Review? No, not really.
Oral communication po.
Oh, 'di ba? So it's already a review. Review na lang siya. Tama?
Medyo ma'am.
Okay, so this is easy. Okay, so then I will go a little bit faster. So we have the sender. Okay, so you have the sender, that is the first element. The sender is the one who develops or encodes a concept. Okay, develop or encode a concept. If you look at the person, the sender emoji there, no, it has encoding. So the sender is encoding a concept in his or her mind, no, that is to be transmitted. No? Okay, what is this concept? What is this concept? The concept now is called the message. Now, for example, the sender wants us to greet, wants to send a greetings. Okay, and then he sends now this message of hello. Again, the concept is the message. Okay, and we have another element. The third element is channel. So first we have sender. Okay, and then the message, and then the channel. Three elements so far. So the channel now is the transmitter. Okay, the channel is the transmitter. What is the transmitter? Of course, this is the way, or the path, or the way. How do you say? The channel is the transmitter of how, where the message passes through. Okay, or how the message is sent through. Okay, so the channel. But don't worry, later on we will be defining the types of channels, so you could have a more understanding, a better understanding of what channel is and what are the types of channels. All right, so next, of course, now the fourth element is the receiver, and the receiver now is the one who will decode the message. So what are the two processes involved here? We have encoding and decoding. Now, this encoding and decoding, again, as I've said, processes. Now, these are processes that lets us understand what's happening with the message. Okay, what's happening with the message? It is being encoded. It is being decoded. Okay. All right. What is this encoding and decoding? Okay. Again, it's the processes. Encoding is you make the concept. Decoding is you translate. Okay. And please write this down. A better definition is encoding is translating thoughts into communication. Encoding is you translate the thoughts into communication. There's the thought in your mind, you want to communicate it. Decoding is the other way around. Decoding is translating communication into thoughts. All right? Again, decoding is translating communication now into thoughts. There's this communication that you received, and now you have to translate it, put it on your mind, and you have to define the meaning of it. Okay, oh, that was a greeting. Hello, it was a greeting. Okay, that's it. Very easy, no? Okay, so this process here is, or this model here is called the transmission model. This is very linear. Okay, or what do we mean by linear? It is one way. Okay, one way. So first, so there are so many branches. No? Nagba-branch out na ako. I hope you are able to take note. So we have elements so far. What is it? Sender, message, channel, receiver. What are the two processes in relation to message, encoding, and decoding? And then we have models of communication. First one is transmission model. Okay, transmission model meaning it is one way. One way lang siya. There's a sender. The sender just sends a message to the receiver. One way lang. Okay? All right. So, before we proceed to other types of other models of communication, let's first define the types of channels. Okay, we have visual, we have audal, olfactory, oral, and tactile. Okay, so can I ask Aliyah to read the visual?
Visual message are sent or received through eyes or eyes-to-eye contact.
All right. So what you see, that's basically what you can see in your eyes. So example is the newspaper, of course. You just read it, no? So there's a message being sent to you when you are reading it, no? And because of that, that is visual. The channel is now visual. What else? Can you give me a scenario or situation where you have the channel, or where you use the channel visual, or the visual channel?
When reading, ma'am.
Reading what? Specific.
Reading a textbook, a book, or news, ma'am.
Okay, good. Reading a newspaper, right? Or news where?
Mga sites po, ma'am.
Sites. Okay, good. All right. But you have to be careful which sites are you using, huh? Again,
CNN, ma'am.
CNN online. Tama ba? Sites? Like
Yes, ma'am.
pure reading, huh? There are times where you also combine the two, like when you're watching, no? Watching television, watching news, of course, visual plus audal, no? All right. But then pure, let's try to have like pure visual, yes, reading CNN websites, let's say, no? And they have this new section. Okay, this is pure visual. Good, good. All right. Next, Audal, please read Julia. Julia Marie. Okay, you're muted, I believe. Hmm. Still no audio. Julia, are you there? What's happening to your microphone? Something is wrong with your microphone. Okay, sige. Si Charles na lang muna. Charles, can you read Audal? Charles, is that Mendoza?
Odal, this channel is receptive, meaning messages are being received through listening or hearing.
All right. So what you hear, okay, Audal channel. Example, of course, is radio. Of course, whatever you hear in the radio, that is Audal. Okay, right? What else? What else? When your mother calls you for dinner, no? For example, you are in the second floor and your mom is in the first floor or in the other room. You just hear your mom calling you. You cannot see her, so that's Audal. Okay? Yes? Now you would be asking me later on, Ma'am, what's the difference between Audal and oral? So later, we will define that difference. Let's proceed with olfactory. Jean May? Is that Jean May? Jian May. Can you read olfactory?
Nose receives smell, scents, with, which conveys meaning.
Okay, so even the smells or scents can be a channel. I think the boys or the men knows this exactly. They know this better. Or maybe the girls too. Who among the ladies uses perfume? No? Who uses it more? Maybe the men. I think the men uses it more to attract ladies. Tama ba? No? So this, why? Because the scent conveys a meaning already. No? Kung may BO ka, then it conveys what? No? If kung may mga putok yung mga kilikili ninyo, what meaning does it convey?
Kailangan na maligo, ma'am.
Kailangan ng maligo, correct. 'Di ba? Meron na rin siyang meaning na kino-convey. Ibig sabihin, kailangan mo ng maligo o hindi ka naliligo. 'Di ba? So that's a meaning that you can make out of that smell, that putok smell. Okay? So, again, for the ladies, also, it's nice to invest in a really good perfume. Of course, both men and women. Sometimes, of course, you don't know this yet, but when you grow older, it is okay. It is best if you invest in a really nice perfume because it would really boost your confidence. And again, it conveys something like professionalism. It depends. No? If you're going to the bar, club, you have to have a different perfume. If you want to go to the office, when someone walks in the street and there's this super strong but really good smelling smell, that's really a nice how do you call this one, impression. No, it would make an impression. Okay, let's ma'am, if ever po na matawag ka, pwede po iba na lang kasi po. Okay. All right, to buy thing for my apartment. Wow, can you do it later? Okay, but if you're still on your phone, you can still be on your phone and doing and outside. Okay, it's okay. You can still of course buy some things outside as long as you're still on your phone on the Zoom listening. Okay? Next. Sorry, I just read something in the chat if you na-confuse kayo. Okay, next oral. Oral tayo. Can you read for me? Axel.
Commonly productive messages through this channel is produced.
Okay, so commonly productive messages through this channel is produced. Basically, oral. Nasa logo na yan. Whatever it's spoken. Basically, it's spoken. No? Coming from your mouth, whatever you say, whatever you speak, okay? So what's the difference between audal and oral? So basically, audal is what you hear, no? And oral is what you speak. But oral is more of more used on a face-to-face communication, no? Because you speak with each other, okay? So audal, it could be mostly through media, no? Because you cannot comment back or give feedback. No, you just listen to it purely. Okay? So a while ago, I said your mom calling you because you cannot see her. Yes, it could be audal, no? If the feedback is not really urgently needed, then that could be audal. Okay? So if there's an urgency for feedback, that is oral already. So again nga, during face-to-face, she speaks, that's oral. Yeah, then you can give feedback right away. That's going to be oral. Sa audal naman, whatever you hear, right? So there is a physical separation, basically. Audal, there's a physical separation from the receiver. And again, it doesn't require urgent feedback or a lot of feedback or feedback at all. In some cases, of course, when you listen to the radio, the station or whoever is the broadcaster, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to send your feedback to the broadcaster, diba? So there's not so much urgency needed, or if not at all. And yeah, it's basically separated. Okay. Last one is tactile. May hindi naka-mute. What is it? Is that? Hanapin niyo nga. Please, again, mute. Okay? So, tactile. Tactile, please. Okay, let me just read it. It's so short. It touches signal messages. Just that, basically. Okay? Basically, touch. Okay? So, what can we infer to this channel is anything that, of course, appeals to your senses. Whatever you use, like with your eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and of course, touch. That's it. Those are the channels. Next, let's go back. As I've said a while ago, I mentioned feedback. Okay. So, sa mga nagsusulat ng take down ng notes, you heard me saying feedback. There's no urgent need for feedback. Okay, what is this feedback now? Of course, feedback is the response that the receiver will send back to the sender. Okay, basically, reply, okay, response, yeah, that's it. And now, when this happens, pag yung receiver sends feedback to the sender, the receiver now becomes the sender. And now, the sender originally will become now the receiver. What happens here is there is an exchange of roles. Please take note of that. So, in this model that we are looking at, this is called what? Interaction model. The receiver becomes now the sender as he or she sends back a feedback to the sender, original sender, which is now the receiver. So it is now, we have now an exchange of roles. And how do we call this model interaction model? This is now a two-way process of communication. No, hindi na lang siya one way, no? Kasi ayaw natin 'yan. Kahit sa relationship, ayaw natin na one way. We don't like na lagi na lang nasusunod ang mga lalaki. Charek. Ganun ba? Tama ba, girls? Tama ba, ladies? I should be calling you ladies. I'm so sorry. No, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? So, in every relationship, there should be two-way communication. No? Hindi dapat one-sided. It shouldn't be one-way communication. It should be two-way. You have to listen to the feedback, right? So, what else? So, we have feedback is another element of communication. We have now noises or noise. You can see there. No? Noise. Okay. What is this noise? These are the interference. No? This could distract you from interpreting the messages clearly. Okay, interference. This is now the noise. Impediments, you can call it impediments, you can call it barriers, because of course language barrier could also be a noise, no? So impediments, barriers, interferences, yeah, these are all noises. Now let's dive deeper to that. What are the kinds of noises? We have physical noise. Yeah, physical noise. Please read through the examples, okay? If you read the examples, you will immediately understand what it means. Okay, physical noise is basically a noise coming from the surroundings, environments, no? Loud people talking, dog barking, barking dogs, construction activity. Yeah. Next, we have psychological noise. Psychological noise, what is this? This is now the noise that comes from our mind, right? Comes from our mind. It can be a noise as well, no? Like, for example, if you are too stressed about money or any problems that you're having, so it would hinder you from interpreting the message, no? Ang ika nga, lutang. Pag lutang ka, di ba? Lutang ka kasi siguro, I was about to say puyat, but puyat is different. It's physiological. Lutang ka kasi heartbroken ka. No? Ayan o. Ayan o. Nako. Pag heartbroken ka, medyo physiological din yun actually. Well, it could be a combination of two. Psychological and physiological pag heartbroken. So, what else? Yeah, we have crashing deadlines, busy ka, marami kang iniisip, masyado kang nag-overthink. No? If you're overthinking, then you cannot really understand. It happened to me, no? I couldn't follow a simple direction on the location or navigating because I am overthinking. I'm planning or I'm overthinking na I'm so worried because there are so many people already waiting for me. And I was just so worried in my mind. I was thinking of so many things. I was worried about the being late, so I couldn't follow the direction that the person is giving me right there. So this is physiological noise, psychological noise rather. Okay. Next physiological noise. Ito na. What is physiological noise? It comes from our body naman. Okay. Physiological noise are noises that comes from our body, physical anatomy, no? Example, if you are experiencing hunger, we have their growling stomach, no? Yeah. Pag gutom kayo, of course, you cannot understand what I am discussing. So better make sure before you attend my class, busog kayo, no? Nakapagmerienda na. Yeah, I know, I think it's dinner time after, no? It's gonna be almost dinner time before our class. So I understand kung gutom yung iba, ready na for dinner. Yeah. But please, since we have learned that physiological noise can affect our interpretation of the message, try as much as possible, of course, to not feel hunger whenever you are in class. Okay? It's always nice if you have with you some chocolates, no? You can eat them while we're having our discussion, our Zoom meeting. You can eat them time to time. Of course, make sure naka-off yung microphone nyo, no? Just in case you're eating chips, no? Maingay ang mga yan. Maingay. Okay. But I would recommend, of course, dark chocolate or chocolates, any chocolate sweets para active. Okay, so we have less than a minute and this Zoom will end. Please open the same link, okay, when this Zoom closes. All right. So again, let's be ready for let's record. Where were we? We were in physiological noise. Okay. So you got that already, no? It comes from your body. Next, we move on to semantic noise. What are these semantic noise? It's a noise that comes from the meaning itself, no? The meaning of the message itself. If you do not know the meaning or the message itself, it's a semantic noise. For example, you're using special jargons, no? Then, of course, some people who doesn't belong to the same field, for example, medical jargons, for those of us like who are taking hospitality, who are not in the medical field at all, then of course we will not understand what's the meaning of vertigo or other medical terms. No, that's the only medical terms that I know, I guess. So yeah, this is one example of semantic noise. Okay. Unique word usage phrases, foreign language as well. It can be a form of semantic noise. Of course, because you cannot understand the meaning. That's why we have the language barriers. It's called language barriers because it's, of course, blocking you from understanding what the other person wants to say. Okay. Camera check. Wala. Kukunti na ngayon ang naka-on ng camera. Why is it? Okay. Great. Thanks so much. Okay. What else? Let's go back. Let's see. Okay. Let's go back. What else are the elements of communication? Any questions with noises so far? All clear? Huh? Clear tayo? Okay, clear tayo sa noise.
Clear, ma'am.
All right. So going back to this model, you can see another element here of communication, which is the context. Okay, context is, it can be psychological context or physical context, but what is context? Basically, it is the situation where the communication takes place or the environment where the communication happens. Right? Right? I hope you have written that. Context is where the situation takes place or happens, as well as the environment. It's basically the environment where the communication happens. Now, any questions so far? For example, let's have an example. I want to tell my mom that I'm hungry because I want to eat. So it means in my thoughts, I am hungry and I want to eat. And I want my mom to receive this message. So I would translate it into communication, into a message, which is, Mom, I'm hungry. Now, my mom is the receiver, right? And she will now decode the message that her daughter is hungry, therefore, she needs to cook. Okay? She needs to cook. In this situation, what is the context? Okay? What could be the context? Anyone?
The house, ma'am.
Very
Inside the
good.
house.
Is that you, Brent?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Yes, it's the house. The situation or environment could be inside the house. Now, you can also maybe make your own context, like you say, there, for example, I'm a little girl, which I'm not. But for example, now there's this little girl who's hungry and she said she's hungry to her mom. And so you can write as a context, they're in the playground playing and the girl got hungry, so she wanted to eat. So you can always justify that into what context you will write. Support with some, of course, something like they're in the playground playing. So it could be, since it's not clear where the communication happens. So why am I telling this? Because it will be your assignment tomorrow. Quiz. It's graded for short. It will be your quiz tomorrow. You will define elements of communication in some situations that I will be giving to you. So, since you know that that's part of the quiz, any questions in the elements?
Ma'am,
Yes?
wala.
Okay, clear. Clear tayo sa elements. Yep. Okay. Now let's go to principles of effective communication. This is now the second part of our discussion. Okay, hold on. Please read all of it, Renz. All talaga yun, no?
Ma'am, ako po.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Dalawa ba ang Renz?
Sige po. So, general principles of effective communications. Know your purpose in communicating, know your audience, know your topic, adjust your speech or writing to the context of the situation, work on the feedback given to you.
All right. So principles of effective communication. You have read through all of that. So now I've said earlier, you have to know the purpose. Second comes how to be an effective communicator. Okay. So what is this? Why do we need to learn how to be effective communicators? Of course, so we could get our purpose delivered clearly, and effectively. Okay, so let's go with know your I've already said that. That's the first one, know your purpose. Second, know your audience. Who are you communicating to? Okay, if you're about to deliver a speech to grade school students, of course, you should know that these kids have a short span of attention. So you have to add some icebreakers, you have to add some jokes, or you have to really put effort to making your speech not boring and complicated. Again, use of jargons, no, because these are just kids. Okay. Also, if you are communicating to a baby or little kids like 3 years old, how do you communicate to them? How?
Baby talk.
Baby talk, exactly. You use baby talk. Why? Because you know that when you do baby talk, they will how do you call this one? They will play with you. You will get their
React,
attention.
ma'am.
They will react. Yes, exactly. And that is one thing why you have to really know your audience. Okay. So see, it sounds complicated. It sounds complex. No, not complicated, but it sounds complex. But I have shown you one simple situation, which is just talking to the baby, and then you have to know your audience already. If you use a deeper or heavier tone when you talk to little kids, what does that mean? No, even if you are trying to be friendly, or if um, you just want them to eat something, no, like eat their food, like I would say, eat your food. And okay, I couldn't do baby talk, so maybe someone can do baby talk and say, eat your food to a baby. Let's do role play. Who can do that? Ala, nawala na sila. Okay, I will volunteer you. Sino kaya? Role playing tayo. Na patayan ng camera. Okay. Yung mga hindi naka-on yung camera. Are you there? Paul John. Paul John, are you there?
Hindi ko marunong.
Okay, can you do and use the baby tone, baby talk tone, and say, eat your food?
Hindi ako marunong.
Para ka nang nag-baby talk. Di ka marunong. You just have to, what do we mean by baby talk? You just have to raise your tone higher, your pitch higher rather, no? You just have to raise your pitch higher, no? Instead na ganito, dapat mas mataas, no? Joven. Joven, can you say, eat your food? Or kain na, or something in Tagalog, whatever. But use baby talk.
Ma'am, naka-open mic naman po ako.
Okay lang, I volunteered you still. Sige, go.
Ma'am, di ko rin po alam eh.
Hala, paano na lang, no, mga hospitality kayo, maraming mga kids. Tapos yung mga families usually na darating, you have to also communicate with them and sa mga babies nila. No? Sige, who else? Who can do that? Catherine. Catherine? Catherine, are you there? Catherine Sulancho? Sulancho, is that correct? Catherine,
Ma'am, hindi ko po alam.
wala ba kayong mga kapatid?
Wala po. Magkakasing age lang po lahat.
Well, anyway, you can still try. Baby talk. Yung mga may boyfriend dyan, no? I'm sure nagbe-baby talk kayo sa mga boyfriends ninyo. Naku, para pagbigyan kayo. Ganun ba yun? Pabili. Again, who wants to try? Plus points. Anyone?
Points lang, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, plus points. So we can define, no? I teach.
Points ba yan, ma'am?
Choppy. Medyo choppy nga lang. Who's that?
Sorry po, may technical na
Who's talking? Si Renz ba?
opo. So, nag-close po yung internet po ng 1 second po. So, sorry po.
Okay. Are you volunteering?
Pwede po kasi during this year po is my baby na pinababysit po.
Oh, you can try. Sige.
Okay, so yung baby talk po na sasabi ko na usually is, "Hello, Sophia! How about, do you want to eat? You can stop that phone. Hello po." Or, yeah. "Sophia, hello. Here's here's your food. Come and eat."
Okay, good. Yes. Ganun lang, guys. Can you do that with your with a deeper voice?
Sige po. "Hello, Sophia. Halika, come and eat, please. Come on."
Okay. Did you see the difference? Okay, we have plus points kay Ren. Okay, let's see where I will put that point. Guys, if I ask you to do something, just do it. It's okay. If you cannot do it properly, as long as, no, just do it. No, good job. You have plus points. And going back, yun nga, you see the difference. If it's a baby, you're talking to a baby and you use heavy tone, medyo sad and scary, di ba? So, yun yung magiging interpretation, yun yung magiging message ng may interpret ng receiver, which is the baby. Okay? So, thank you so much, Renz. So, know your topic. What are you talking about? Of course, there's a saying that you cannot give what you do not have. You cannot talk about something where you don't have experience or you have not researched properly, diba? You have to really know your topic. Okay? But when you are going to write your research paper, then this is also important kasi you have to know the topic. What are you passionate about? Okay? You have to write on it. Okay? You have to make a research about it. No, it's not just, oh, you just saw it and then okay, I pick that as my paper, because making a research paper will take you so much of your time and effort of really diving deep to that topic. So of course, might as well, it has to be something you're passionate about, so you can really dive deep and know the topic. Okay. Paano po kaya pag sobrang deep ng voice, makakain pa po kaya yung bata? I don't know. Maybe, definitely, the kid will eat, but may trauma. Baka magka-trauma yan, no? Takot na yan, no? You have, like, I will just eat because I got scared. That is no. Okay? No yan. Dapat medyo, not like super OA na baby talk, but medyo soft, no? Because kids get easily scared, no? And this feeling might not be good to them because magiging trauma yan, no? Pag naka-feel sila ng fear, baka madala nila yan. Pag tumanda, it will be their trauma. Okay? So, next, adjust your speech or writing to the context of the situation is, of course, what we have also already what do you call it? Discuss, no? The baby talk. Adjust your speech or writing. Again, it is also related. Yung speech, it's related to the baby talk. Yung writing, it's related to the jargons. Don't use jargons which are not in relation to the context. Okay? Work on the feedback given to you. Of course, we are not perfect. No? From time to time, we have to improve on something. So we should always be open to criticism. Okay? It's being effective communicator doesn't mean that you are effective in bossing around, in getting your message straight. Okay? Of course, we cannot sometimes it we cannot do it perfectly on our first try. We need some feedbacks from others, and then we work on it again. And then working on it makes our communication better, whatever we are doing, be it like research paper or talks. No, if we're working on it, for comedians, for example, they always ask feedback. Was that a good joke or not? Then we say no, it's not. Maybe you should use um less darker jokes because this is not the audience in it. So then he applies it and it becomes now better. So that's how you become effective communicator. Okay, importante yung last, because again, cannot be sometimes we cannot be effective communicator right away. It takes a lot of feedbacks and then there. Like for example, me now. No, you can send your feedback. Ma'am, wag kayong mag-joke masyado. Don't be using this and that. And then, okay, I'm gonna work on it. And in my next purposive class, I'm a better communicator. I'm a better teacher or presenter. Diba? That's it. All right. Now, principles of effective oral communicate. Hold on. Communication. We have oral and we have written. No, basically, oral is the same with written. Later on, you will be taking note of 7 C's. Okay, 7 C's. We have the first one: be clear with your purpose. Clear. No, I think this part is self-explanatory. Okay, so be complete with your message that you deliver. Make sure that your claims are supported by facts and essential information. Being complete with the message means that your message have sources. Okay? Your message have sources. That's why it should be supported by facts. And be concise means you just have to be direct. Yeah? So you just have to be direct. That's just that. No. Be natural, be direct, natural with the delivery, and not trying so hard. Okay? That's it. That's the number 4 actually. Be natural with your delivery. Okay? And the last one is be specific and timely. Okay? With your feedback. No? Of course, you cannot give a feedback of something which was already like a year ago presented. It has to be timely. Okay, like for example, today I just finished my presentation. You can give feedback, and then that's what I will be using on the next meeting, not when our class is about to end. Actually, yung mga feedback forms, no? Yung mga feedback forms na pinapa-fill up sa inyo, I don't know when, usually after the class, right? Sorry, I put your videos sa baba. Ayan, kaya para akong nakatingin sa baba. Yung mga feedback forms, no, usually, sometimes it's not really waste of time. Sometimes it's defeating the purpose. Okay? Kasi feedback should be given timely. For example, today, no, ma'am, you used so much of this. We didn't have this. Whatever feedback you would give me, that's the one I would apply to the next meeting. And not when our class, during finals, after the finals is ending. No? Kasi how? Where will I apply it? Sa next class ko? Yes, but to you, hindi, no? There's somehow related, there is somehow a relation to protocol. Protocol is, of course, you tell me first before you tell the higher ups, no? This is something you should also know. May protocol tayong tinatawag. Whatever you have like negative feedback or hinanakit sa akin, no? Tell me first before you go to the higher ups. It's basically the same in any situation. So work, when you have your work in the future, you have to work it out first. You have to tell your colleagues first before you go to your supervisor, no? This is being timely and specific with your feedback. Okay? And much as possible, you have to say it right away. No? Okay. Oral communication. Now, let's go to written. This is the 7 C's na sinasabi ko a while ago. And again, it's related to the principles of being of effective oral communication. Be clear with your message. Yeah, be clear and make the objective clear and avoid complex phrases. That's the meaning of being clear. I hope you're writing that down. No, please make your pens work because sometimes it's not in the PowerPoint. Avoid complex words and phrases. That is being clear. Be concise. I wouldn't be reading the definition here, so you have to make sure you also listen. So be concise is keeping it clear and direct to the point as well. And you avoid filler words and sentences. Just be direct. No. It says here do not beat around the bush. Be concrete is when you are supporting your claims with facts. Just like what we have said a while ago, it should have a source, okay, a reliable source, okay. All right, next. Be correct. Being correct is, of course, we have grammatical correctness. We also have typo errors. Avoid typographical errors as much as possible, diba? So we have grammatical correctness, grammatical errors, we have typo errors. What else? What else? Where do we need this being correct principle, no? So to avoid that, always revise and edit your work. Okay? Right? And also being correct in general by using the right level of language. It doesn't have to be grammatical, typo, what is physical and written, okay? You have to also use the right level of language, okay? That's why we have like formal and informal writing, okay? Formal and informal writing. When you're writing a letter, for example, it's addressed to, let's say, your superiors or someone higher with position, yeah? Not everyone knows this, but let me annotate. Okay, I'm gonna open my annotation. So we have here, dear, can everyone see this? Miss Antigua, sorry. Dear Miss Antigua. That's my family name, by the way. Now, since I am your teacher, so there is this respect, you should always write the letter with, how do you call this one? A colon, if I'm not mistaken, with this one. Okay? Correct me if I'm wrong. So you should always, I already forgot how to call this one. So with this one, colon. And then this one, okay? What's the difference between the two? Can everyone see this one that I've written? Yeah? Can you see this, dear Miss Antigua, in your screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what's the difference? The difference is, dear, which one is more
Yung
formal?
yung quotation po sa dulo.
Yeah, the quotation. Yeah, salutation. Yes, yung punctuation rather. The punctuation, correct. Yung punctuation sa dulo, if it's a comma, that's used mostly to your friends. If you're addressing your friends or someone na ka-level mo, you use comma. Okay, informal, kumbaga. If you want to be more formal, for example, you're addressing your teacher, principal, someone who is higher than you, for example, in the work environment also, your boss, you have to use this colon. Okay? Let me 10 minutes na lang, no? So again, I think one more Zoom, we will be ending. But first, let me just name. It's a I don't like colon, correct. Okay.
Paul. Babasketball lahat yan, ma'am eh. Positive.
Tangtakad dyan. Rebound ka.
Mike, pre, Mike.
Can everyone check your microphone kung naka-mute kayo? Can you all check your microphone?
Bumba, parang down.
Okay. Si Jeter. Alright. So, going back, that's a commercial break brought to you by Jeter. Si Jeter yata yun. Jeter pa yun. Jeter, andiyan ka ba? Ayan. Jeter Gatang.
Yes, ma'am.
May commercial break ka.
Uy. Mama, wait lang po, ma'am.
So, okay. Consistent pa rin siya. Alright. So, going back. So, yung Miss Antigua colon, it's formal. And yung comma is informal. Just that. So, this is also one of the things that you have to take note. No? This is being correct in your written communication. Okay? Right. Number 5. Last 2 slides, I guess. So number 5 is being coherent. Okay, what is this coherent? No? Ito naman is being logical in your form. Okay, hold on. Yeah. Hold on. For a second. Okay. So, being coherent. Sorry for that. Okay. It's just the form, it has to be smooth. No, the flow has to be smooth, no? Dapat yung flow is smooth, logical, it conveys the idea logically, it makes sense. Okay, yun lang yung being coherent. Alright, so again, we have coherent, if it makes sense, yeah? Smooth flow of ideas, and of course, it's not covering, what do you call this one? Covering so much. For example, yeah, just that. It's not covering so much, beating around the bush. No, it's very related to number 2, which is being concise. Correct. Okay. Any questions so far? Medyo na-distract ako doon. So, any questions so far? We have 2 more. Being complete and being courteous. Okay? So, let's erase that. Be complete is just including all the necessary and relevant information as you can read there, no? But also, it should also include a call to action. Just a tip, no? It should include a call to action. Okay? For example, you are making a campaign. Let's say a sales campaign, sales page. If you want to be complete, it should end with a call to action. What is this call to action? Like buy now, like click the link for buying, this call to action thing, which would direct your customers or which would tell your customers to do something about it. Of course, being complete is what is the product, what the product can do. Yes, it's there, it's all there, but you have to add call to action so that you will complete the process of or the complete the purpose, which is creating sales. No? And this sales should be, if your purpose is creating sales, then your call to action should be buy now. Buy now in this link. That's what you should write. No? This is basically in the sales and communication field. Okay. So please take note of some of my examples and how I give them, because later on you will also give examples in relation to your field, which is hospitality. Okay. So last is being courteous. Avoid overtone. Of course, avoid being impolite. You always have to be courteous. That's most important. And part of it would be the one I said, informal and formal writing, right? So you have to use the proper punctuation. Any questions? No questions? Last part, very quick lang to, ethics of communication. Okay? Ethics is basically the judgment we make about the appropriateness, whether one is right or wrong, an action is right or wrong, no, a policy is right or wrong, be it communicative, political, social, or personal, or mixture of both. No, you don't have to necessarily memorize this person, but it's just a source of the meaning of this ethics. Now, there are so many meanings of ethics, but of course, this is the one I picked, which is simple, and it's all right there. Okay, appropriateness, right or wrong, policies, actions, and a lot of other fields. Okay, and again, ethics will help us determine whether what we say or do is suitable or proper. That's just it, considering its effects on society. As it's important, again, later on, when you do some paperworks, no, andyan na yung tinatawag na plagiarism. It's not ethical. Okay, citing your source. You always have to cite your source. That's practicing ethics. Okay. So, can you read? Can you read for us? Who can read it? Jazil Noven. Jazil Noven. Can you read for us?
Ethics in communication emphasizes that morals influence the behavior of an individual, group, or organization, thereby affecting their communication. It is important to note that one's behavior should be regulated by honesty, decency, truthfulness, sincerity, and moral uprightness.
All right. So, again, it emphasizes the morals. Okay. What morals we have, it would influence the behavior, okay, of us, of the group or organization. Okay. So again, it's just basically we should practice ethics. Okay. Now, to achieve ethical communication, we have to establish an effective value system that will pave the way for the development of your integrity as a person. So there is this individual naman siya, individual morals, no? This is establishing an effective value system. We have to provide complete and accurate information. As I've said, complete means citing your sources. Okay, so again, establishing value system. What is this integrity? Integrity is your credibility of how you are going to be heard, no? You should be having this integrity. For example, if you're cracking jokes always, no, the next time that you will tell something which is true, then you don't have credibility now, okay? So this is always important. You have what you say should always be truthful, so that you will establish that integrity as a person, as well as what else? Exams. Okay. Of course, this is also integrity. If you have intellectual integrity, then you should also not cheat. Okay. What happened? Sorry, nawala ba? Okay. All right. Next, provide complete and accurate information. Basically, cite your source. We should not be spreading fake news. That's just it. Okay. I've said, some of you said online CNN. Yes, but be careful in other websites then, no? Because online world is full of unreliable sources then. Okay. Number 3, last is disclosing vital information adequately and appropriately. Why is there appropriately? Because there is this sort of thing we call privacy. Okay. If we think that it's private, we should not divulge the information. But if you become professionals and you think you should really, there's a need for you to disclose this information, then you should do it by all means. But then again, that will always be debatable, arguable. It would always be case basis. So then you always have to check that with your superiors. What information would you divulge? No. So this is achieving ethical communication. For example, I have worked with in the cruise ships, right? I told you, and there is this things that happening internally, which is negative. Like to me, it affects me negatively. I should not go around and posting it on social media. You know that, oh, my boss, the people, or my boss where I work with, or in in this cruise company, are so bad. They're letting me work overtime and all this. They don't show their appreciation to me or something like that. I should not do that and post that, because first, it is an inappropriate place. As I've said a while ago, you have to work it out with them first. And second, there is this called company what do you call this one? It somehow destroys their company image, which in return you can be sued, you know. You can be sued if you do that if you post that in your social media. No, you can be sued. Be careful for those of you who are in the future working in the hospitality sector. If you should be careful what you divulge, especially with relation to your employer, to your hotel, to this company you're working with, because they can sue you back. Okay. It will always be legally applicable. They can sue you back, especially if you post it online. Okay. All right. So Thank you all for listening. That's it. Any questions or clarifications? If none, ciao. Yeah, no questions?
None, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so tomorrow we will not be meeting. Okay, don't go yet, please. Don't go, don't go. Just let me do this very fast. No, very fast. I will be checking your attendance. Mhm. What is your section again? I hope I have it written here. WTH 410. WTH 410. CFM 1B. Do we have Amit here? No. Am I in the correct section?
Bakit po, ma'am?
Sorry, what? Amit is there? Present? Okay, correct.
Yan po.
Please say present and yeah. Let me just choose what color. Green. Okay. Irene Amora?
Present po, ma'am.
No, Crizel.
Present, ma'am.
France? Ang Arango rin?
Arango rin, ma'am.
Okay.
Present po.
Crisanto Bandong? Crisanto Bandong? It's not there. Hannah Bangloy? Hannah? Not here. Josh Besa? Josh Besa?
Present po, pero late, ma'am.
Josh Besa is there. Okay. Crystal?
Present, ma'am.
Joyce Bira?
Present, ma'am.
Gian May Kasame?
Present po.
Cyrene Carmesis?
Present, ma'am.
Joven?
Present.
Carlo Cusi? Carlo Cusi?